Okay, welcome to CIS102. This is fall 2020. We're an introduction here to get you started. This week, you're going to be setting up my TLab, getting your book, and things like that. So let's go and get started. So at the top of the course here is my contact information. This is my Google phone number. You can call or text it. So if you normally are used to texting, you can use that, and I will reply as soon as I get the text. There's my Rock Valley College email, all social media accounts. Below that, online office hours. Here's the dates and time. If you click on this link, it walks you through how to connect, which is just an online chat. There's no video, just text, and uh, that's all. Then scheduling office hours. You can click on this to schedule an office hour, online office meeting virtually via video. I do not require for this class or any of my online classes a timed or a set time each week to meet because it's an online class. I know many of you work, and the whole nature of online, I believe, is to, for me anyway, be flexible and around your schedule. So there will be no required online sessions each week. I will record, like I'm doing now, a podcast at the beginning of each week to get you started. If you have any questions, again, you can text me, uh, email me, call me on this number, however you prefer. If you do have issues or you want to, just pop in anytime, ask a question, I suggest the online office hours. If it's non-emergency, just, you want to ask a question or whatever. Otherwise, you can just text it whenever you think of it. And as soon as I see it, I'll reply. However you want to do it, that's fine by me. But just reiterate, you're not going to be required to meet in an online Zoom for this class or any type of conferencing tool. All right. So I'll go and get started. The course ID is this right here, Conco 22466. We'll talk about that more in just a second. That's for the My TLab. At the top of the course here, at the home page, this is going to stay static. All this information from here all the way up to the top of the page will stay as is. So let's go over this. Your grade book is mainly going to be on My TLab. When you complete things on My TLab, you'll see it in a second. It'll be posted immediately within a few days. And this information here just goes over what's on the left side of the course page. So it goes over what modules are, assignments, syllabus announcements. I suggest, I like the syllabus link personally because it breaks down when things are due. And so it's a really nice view of when things are due. And you can just literally click on the item and go right to that in the assignments. But the view on my TLab, as far as on Eagle that we're using for our course delivery, I'll just go over these real quick on the left. Announcements is give weekly announcements. Modules will break down everything in the course. You'll notice at the very top there's a item of RVC Eagle, Canvas orientation, and other. If you need Eagle help, click on this. It'll give you help. There'll be times I might use a free conferencing tool called Free Conference Call. Be nice to sign up for that if you have time this first week. And then some browser and settings for my TLab. Then you'll notice it jumps right into week 1, week 2, week 3, so on and so forth. Each week for this course mainly is going to have a beginning podcast like you're listening to now. Week 1's a little different. You will be doing what's called My TLab setup, which we'll go over in a second. About Me is exclusive to week 1 as well. It tells a little bit about yourself. In this one, you'll actually copy and paste the questions, uh, answer some questions about yourself, and then since it's online to kind of get to know one another, you can required to reply to at least 2 other students about me questions. Here's some CIS102 FAQs. Our very first My TLab, just get this out of the chute to get started. I believe you'll like it. It's a lot of fun. It's interactive. It's online. And then each week I'll also have a discussion. So besides week 1, normally we'll have some My TLab, online activities, a podcast going over what's going over that week, and then a discussion. So podcast, discussion, or podcast, My TLab, and then discussion. That's going to pretty much be each week. Due dates for each week is Sunday at midnight. There are one exception to that. The extra credit that you'll see here in a second in the My TLab that you're not required to do, it's due each Friday, the My TLab. And I believe it's the first 7 or 8 weeks of class, extra credits available. So let's go back to the homepage real quick. So under resources, these are, again, some things that are going to stay static on this page under resources. Eagle Help, 102 FAQs, the link to the My TLab, which we'll go to in a second. Canvas Student Guide, obtaining Office 2016, which is free to you as a student. So I would recommend doing that as soon as you can, if you haven't already. And this link will walk you through how to install it on your computer. If you're experiencing technical problem, click here. Clearing the cache and cookies on your browsers, browser and settings, and My TLab. And then information about our other courses and our division, which goes to our division website. So each week, like this week here, week 1, when you click on this image, it'll take you right to the module for that week. So this week is a podcast you're listening to right now. The My TLab, this is going to be due by Friday. If you've not yet done so already, you need to purchase the book bundle through the online bookstore. If you click on this link, it'll take you right to the book that's needed. The bookstore should be open Monday, that you can walk in and purchase your textbook. If you're not able to do that, or for whatever reason the campus is not open, you can order it online. And so we'll kind of play by ear and see what goes on this week. And I will work with you if something weird happens with your book or whatever. But if you, like all the other courses on campus, I know some of you, or probably most of you, have already purchased a book through the bookstore, which has been available. But here's the direct link. And again, I believe it has a little note up here at the top about storage damage. Okay, I'm glad I read that. Due to storm damage, campus is closed next week. We'll be able to ship UPS. What we ship today is typically delivered next day business. Okay, cool. So if you order this Monday, it should come by Tuesday. So the campus is not open because of the storm currently. So basically, you'll select the buy new format. You will add it to the cart. And then you're able to check it out and it'll send it to you next day. So that's pretty easy. I just need to have that done by Thursday, Friday this week. That would be great. So to register for the course, once you've received your book via mail or you already have it, this document here walks you through how to register to My TLab. So I'll click on that to show you. So you'll follow the steps here basically. Number 1, you'll go to this website. Under register, you select student, confirm you have the needed information, which is basically the instructor ID, and you need the code, the access code from the book as well. So it says here on number 4 to enter the instructor course ID, which is Conco22466. Click continue. If you have an existing Pearson account, that will work. Otherwise, you need to set one up, which is there on the website. You'll have to click create to set it up. Then number 6, you'll enter the access code from the book. Then once you've done that, you are done and you can go to courses. There is the availability, just an FYI, if you have not purchased a book or can't afford it right now, you can get temporary access to get started with the first My TLab. All the reading materials and things are online. The My TLab book is online. The e-text is online. So just a word of just a note, if you can't afford it right now, you can get temporary access. I think it's 14 days or something like that. Once you've registered, which is the first block here that we just went over, our course name, by the way, once you've registered, is CIS102 D030. Then you'll sign in. Now you can click on that link and bookmark it. Or at the bottom of the course site, might be easier just to remember this, to click on the My TLab 2016. Click sign in and go to our class D030, and then you are in. So let me go back to the page I was at. So register. And again, you'll need the access code from the bookstore, from the book, to get to register to My TLab. Again, temporary access. If you do initially do temporary access, to upgrade, it walks you through how to do that here at the bottom of this page. So avail yourself to that. Okay. So once you've registered and you've logged in and you are able to see the course like this page here, which is CIS102 D030, which is our course call letters. So once you've registered with My TLab, update your browser settings, follow the directions on this link on updating your browser. Chrome is what I recommend, then Firefox. I don't recommend Internet Explorer or any other Edge browser through Microsoft. So Chrome's the one I recommend, number 1. Already walked you through how to sign in, pretty self-explanatory. Now I'll walk you through what it talks about here on the rest of the document, which is navigating My TLab. So when you get to the My TLab page and you're in, I'm going to click on this left side here is the one that you want to first look at is your assignment calendar. And you'll notice the first thing coming up is the 23rd on My TLab, which is just chapter 1, checker understanding part 1 and 2, and then a chapter quiz. And when you click on these to get started, it walks you through what it's about. Like this one's a check your understanding quizzes in your textbook. Use your reading of the technology in action chapter to assist you. Once you begin, the activity must complete it. The goal is to get 100% of points. You have 3 attempts. On questions you missed, review the suggested material to gain a better understanding. The highest score out of the 3 will be graded in the grade book. So if it's start, it walks you through a quiz basically. All right. Now let me show you where you can find the online book in my TLab, which might be helpful. So if you go down to the okay. So if you go down to the course materials, wait for that to load. E-text. So technology in action 15E is the e-text. It's the same as same as the one you get in the mail or you pick up at the bookstore, or even if you're doing a temporary access thing, you should be able to click on this and read chapter 1. You want to do that before you go to the assignment calendar. Click on the 23rd, which is this coming Sunday. And before you start doing the check your understanding part 1 or 2 quizzes, do the reading chapter 1 first, as well as end of chapter quiz. So before you do any of these 3, it is the best out of 3 on score, so I think it's pretty good. You'll note in here there is some items that are on the calendar or not on the calendar here that are in my TLab, that are on Eagle only. Okay, let me mention or trying to clarify that. So if I go to week 1, which we're in right now, you'll notice the My TLab setup, the About Me. That is not going to be found, which is due August 21st, which I believe is Friday. That's not going to be found here in the My TLab. That's only going to be, that's just for our Eagle side of things, RVC Eagle. And there will be each week things that are on RVC Eagle only. In fact, the first week, it's the My TLab setup, your About Me that you got to fill out, and then the discussion. After week 1, pretty much the only time you're going to have an RVC Eagle only assignment is the discussion. So make sure each week you remember to do the My TLab stuff, which that's what we just went over in the My TLab assignment calendar. But also remember you have a discussion. The discussion each week goes over what we've been doing that week for the course. So like week 1 discussion is, how was your first week of class? Okay. So it's pretty basic discussion. It's nothing real major. So on the My TLab setup, going back to that, I just walked you through how to get to your assignments on My TLab. Now let's show you how to get to your gradebook. Your gradebook won't be updated until after you submit an assignment. All right. So if you go to grades, custom grades, that is where your grades are going to show up here. The first few weeks, as things are getting started, as long as you are completing your work and you are submitting them through My TLab, I would not pay attention to this grading custom view because it takes a little bit to update. But as long as you're updating, as long as you're submitting your work, you're good to go. Don't worry about it. And by the way, if you don't submit something, I will remind you. Everything's due on Sunday. Usually by Monday, if I see things haven't been submitted within My TLab, I will remind everybody that is in that boat to please submit your My TLab stuff. But for week one, pretty easy getting started. Hopefully, just setting up the My TLab, doing the chapter 1 reading that I showed you how to get to on the e-text, and then the only assignment in My TLab is the chapter 1 check your understanding and end of chapter quiz. So that's pretty much for My TLab as far as rough overview of the lab itself. So let me go back now. That was My TLab setup. The About Me. You're going to copy these questions here, name you go by down to why you're taking a class. Click reply, paste them, and then answer those questions. You will then look at other students' posts and reply to at least 2 other students for a total of 20 points. This is due by Friday. The other items due by Friday is the My TLab setup as well. Then due by Sunday is the chapter 1 of My TLab that I just went over on the calendar. Each one of your assignments in My TLab will be pretty descriptive on what to do to be successful when you complete the lab. All right, it's pretty basic though. If you do the reading for each chapter on the e-text I showed you or the hardback book that you get on the Technology in Action, you're going to be good to go. Okay. There are other reference materials available to you on My TLab, and each week I walk you through in the My TLab in Eagle of where to find those reference materials to help you. It's generally going to be under number 1, walking you through where to find all the PowerPoints and extra materials, even where to find the e-text and things like that. You'll notice on this one, on My TLab chapter 1, up until number 4, step 4, you don't even log into My TLab because you're basically doing the reading and things of that nature. Now you can log into My TLab before that and get access to all these materials that it mentions in My TLab as far as PowerPoints, reading your book, your Technology in Action, chapter 1. All that could be done through My TLab. It could also be done just through the hardback book. So once you get to step 4, says log into My TLab, complete the Check Your Understanding Part 1, Part 2 that I just went over with you on the My TLab calendar. Talks you through how you have 3 attempts. Then says, hey, you need to finish the end of chapter quiz as well. And it does mention, I believe only here in week 1, I mentioned that each Friday, or the first 7 Fridays, you do have extra credit opportunity. You don't have to do them, but they're going to be found on the My TLab calendar on Fridays only, which I'll go there real quick to show you. And I believe it's for the first 8 weeks or something. So here's one. The first one is on the 28th this month of August. Then you've got the 4th of September, 11th, 8th, 25th. So those are extra credit opportunities that you definitely can definitely take advantage of if you want to. All right. It says here there's 9 extra credit. I believe I only have 8 this semester that I put together. Then there's your discussion, and that completes week 1 content. So mainly for week 1, it's the My TLab setup, getting started, doing your About Me, finishing your My TLab chapter 1 reading, and then doing the quizzes, and then ending with a discussion for chapter 1. If you have any questions, shoot me a text or email as always. And let's have a great semester and stay safe. And we'll talk to you next week.